Shack Together 50, a momentous Shack Together moment, and you're here to share it with us. Today's show is largely about the PlayStation State of Play, which as of the time of this recording is pretty fresh, about a day old, so we talk quite a bit about that. We play a game in Shack Together fashion, a quick one. We get the latest on Killing Floor 3 from our special guest, TJ Denzer. I get grilled on my feelings about Capcom and potentially misrepresented, you decide, and so much more. All right, let's dive into this thing. Thanks for being here. Here we go.
I don't know. We had a tech billionaire CEO having a press conference in the Oval Office while the president sits there and like a cuck. It was very weird. That was a very weird thing. It didn't make me want to buy a Tesla. Didn't make me want to sell my Tesla. I don't know, man. I know that German people don't want to buy Teslas. I read that.
Well, I mean, Europeans in general.
It's almost like the Europeans don't like Nazis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they were actually maybe a little bit more affected by the war and by, they remember actual fascism.
Yeah, right now, and we'll move on from this. I don't know how the hell you're going to cut up cold open from this, Joe. But, I think there's a lot of people out there that could probably benefit from learning how to read.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm pro reading, for sure.
You know what I mean? Just read some history. Maybe Google something. Maybe Google something or look for a second source when you're about to share some ridiculous thing, or maybe just shut the fuck up about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. You're too stupid to comment on it. Anyway.
We got our Kendrick in. Kendrick
there you
made
go.
it.
That's how you end it. It's Shack Together in America on the internet. I don't think I blew it out that time. If this is your first time joining us, Shack Together is a Shack News video game podcast featuring myself, your host, Asif Khan, co-host John Benjamin.
Hello.
Our producer, Joe Stasio.
Hi.
And Shack News senior news editor, TJ Denzer.
Hello, hello.
Hey, news. It's like almost half of Shack News right there.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like an important thing. But yeah, this is a video game podcast. Despite us ranting about the very dire scenarios in the White House right now, we're going to talk about video games. So TJ, start with you as our guest. Thank you for joining the Shack News Extended Podcast universe today. Or the CPU, as the kids call it. They're still calling it that, Joe?
The ticker's spewing out confirmation that it is, yes.
Sweet. So TJ, the people on the ticker and on Twitter and on Bluesky, they all want to know, what have you been playing lately?
The thing I've been playing, well, I guess, yeah, okay. I have to think about the things I'm playing that I can't talk about.
You can talk, yeah. Without breaking embargo, what have you been playing lately?
So, I'm going to start with Keep Driving, because I ran that on Indylicious this week, and I've been kind of playing it since. That game is awesome. It is an indie game that came out on PC. The whole premise is you are a teenage kid. There's a music festival across the country. You have gotten your first car, and your friend wants you to go there, and you just got to figure it out. And it's a very Oregon Trail-esque game in which you actually pull up a map and pick spots along the way to get you there the fastest. But also you'll run into things like you'll come up as you're driving towards a route, you'll come up across random situations like potholes, and you have to use driver abilities to navigate these little threats and get through without losing either all of your money, breaking your car, running out of gas, or just falling asleep from lack of energy. And then there's also hitchhikers you can pick up along the way that will sometimes have their own goals and places they want to go on the map, but they'll also give you extra abilities to deal with the threats as you face them. And as you go, you just kind of try to keep your car upkept, try to keep it gassed up, try to keep your energy up, rest where you can. There was a situation where I drank you have these consumable items, and one of them was a beer, so I drank a beer. and it straight up like gave me this thing that like you should not be driving. And the threats that I faced because of that were like twice as hard as if I'd not done that.
Well, that's a good message. That's a good message. Don't drink and drive.
And so I had a run just completely blasted by just that one bad decision. It's the kind of game where like things can go wrong really fast, but I also just love the premise and the way that it progresses as you just try to get this crappy car across the country.
So is there an endpoint, or is it like a high score game?
It's kind of both. Like the whole thing is you need to get yourself and the car to this destination that's like across the map from where you start. And once you get there, that's like the end of the game. But the choices you make along the way, like the hitchhikers you pick up, the stories you explore, those play into basically how everything turns out in the end.
And it's just like a side scroller, right?
Kind of, yeah. It's
is it all side scrolling, or is there like another view I didn't see?
You have the ability to like pull up your car and like arrange your inventory like Resident Evil 4 attaché case style.
Okay.
And also like you can get different upgrades for your car that you can take to a garage shop and so yeah, it's mostly side scrolling and pixely, but like there are little bits and pieces here and there that change up the view.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick that up. It's a driving game, so I'm legally required to try it. Is that out, or is it in early access? Is it like out?
It's out on PC and PC only, which makes me like surprised because this game needs to be on Switch all over it.
Yeah, I think it's just the budgets make it hard to do that.
Yeah,
for indie games. But this seems like a perfect game for your Steam Deck, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're always looking for Steam Deck games.
I love my Steam Deck.
This seems like a very good Steam Deck game. I'm glad you streamed it, TJ. Yeah, it was one of those ones that we didn't have a chance to review it, but we're like, we need to give this game some love. And it sounds like that was the right move.
It was very fun. I've been playing it ever since I streamed it this week, just because like I was so over the moon for... I'm a sucker for most things that remind me of Oregon Trail.
Mm-hmm.
And the premise of it, just being a deadbeat kid with a shitty car trying to get... I'm sorry, a crappy car trying to get across the country is like... That's a novel concept that I can definitely get behind.
Are you apologizing for cursing?
Yes.
Don't fucking do that.
I couldn't remember if it was...
We curse all the fucking time here.
Okay, fair enough.
Fuck that censorship shit.
So
it makes Joe's life so much easier. Joe having to censor John and me every week. Oh,
yeah, I felt bad leaving the cold open. I let a few fly. So.
Yeah, we determined that very early in this podcast. So we're not gonna too much work.
Fair enough. So shitty car.
Yeah, beater. Nice. It's like, you know, it feels like side-scrolling Pacific Drive a little without the spookiness.
Oh, and it's got a banger soundtrack too. Like you got to have a good road trip soundtrack if you're going to do a road trip game, and it has one. You
can't make a car game with shitty music. You just can't. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But that's awesome. You sold me. I'm going to buy the game. I'm going to play it on my PC. Awesome. Anything else you've been playing? Oh yeah, you previewed Killing Floor 3.
I did.
Man, the internet has a lot of opinions on your preview, man.
I know.
Do tell. What happened?
My problem at this point is that Killing Floor is a beautiful game, and my I do all my gaming and my PC stuff on a laptop, and I can't really record at 4K.
Sure.
And boy, did people let me know about it.
Really?
And that's because Killing Floor is a pretty beautiful game to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And so people want to see the most out of it.
It's scalable, though. It's something that can run on your laptop, but then, yeah, it can also run on my ultra-wide, you know?
Yep.
It's PC gaming is these days.
But do we want to talk about that now or save it for later?
Oh, I saw it on the rundown. You can talk about it here.
Sure.
Do we want to hold it for previews, Joe? I don't know. You're the producer. You tell me.
Hey, I mean, it's in the episode title. It's got some SEO juice. I say go for it.
Yeah, go for it now then. Yeah, it's got SEO juice.
So I got to sit down with Tripwire Interactive and check out a early build of Killing Floor 3. I am a huge fan of the Killing Floor franchise. If you haven't played it, it's like Call of Duty Zombies, but with actual characters and like RPG level up mechanics and boss fights and all sorts of things that like would flesh out a Call of Duty Zombies game into an actual like factual standalone game. Killing Floor 3 is like, so to a little bit of background, Tripwire Interactive has been supporting Killing Floor 2 for 8 years at this point.
Wow.
And just continually adding stuff. And we've asked them before, like, what would it take for you to do Killing Floor 3? And they've usually said something along the lines of, it's a technology thing. If we're going to take the next step, it has to feel like truly the next step. Because otherwise we can just put it in Killing Floor 2. And that's where we're at with Killing Floor 3. This game was designed from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5. They redid a whole bunch of the monsters. They redid a whole bunch of the guns and weapons and characters. They gave us a whole bunch of new maps, and they have some new systems in there that are really exciting and really make it feel like something fresh and original. One of the things they did was they added mantling and quick dash and slide to the game. So, like, you couldn't do any of that stuff in Killing Floor 2 and Killing Floor 1, but in here, if something is eye level, you can climb up over it, and with the dashing, you can, like, when you press the sprint button, you'll jump, like, 5 feet in any direction you're pressing, and then you'll go into a sprint. Those are kind of huge as far as just, like, the mobility and verticality of the maps.
So that's like strafe jumping?
Yeah. So,
is
like,
that kind of like the recent COD?
That's more like a quick dash, where like you stay on the ground, but you can like, but when you tap the sprint button, it like launches you in whatever direction you're going.
It's like Halo 5?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, I don't think Halo has it for strafing, but I think it has it for diving forward.
Yeah, so like a lot of the enemies, if you time the quick dash, you can like dodge their attacks. And that feels like huge for a game like this, because a lot of enemies have like big attacks that can just destroy you on higher difficulties. And if you can dodge out of the way of them, you might save your own life. Mantling is also kind of a big deal, because like in the past, if you couldn't like climb over anything, you just kind of had to navigate on the ground. You could jump, but you couldn't like jump and climb over like fences and stuff. And so both those, like all of the mobility feels like really, really bumped up to a degree where it's going to feel a lot more reflexive and challenging to like do the stuff you want to do at a high level. And then like the monsters themselves, like they really, really revamped everything in this game to look so much more gory. This is a very, very bloody game. Like,
yeah,
dude,
always has been.
It could easily hang out with Doom 2016.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And a part of that system is that every single enemy in Killing Floor has like layers to them, where like it starts at like their skeleton, goes up to their muscle, goes up to their skin, and all of that stuff can just be blown off of them into little bits and chunks by whatever weapon you're using.
Nice.
And this version of it, like they made it where you can do executions on enemies, kind of like glory kills. But also every single enemy, if they get you down, is capable of doing an execution on you.
Oh, okay, so it's like Gears.
Yeah. So pick your friends up fast or they'll be dead. And then the monsters themselves, just like they're much more gross. They're the grossest they've ever looked.
Yeah.
And they're still fun to destroy. There's this character called the Scrake, which is like a hulky dude with a chainsaw on his arm. And you can break most of the big enemies in Killing Floor now have like weak spots, where if you shoot those spots, it'll like do extra damage to the enemy and set them up for like unique things. So if you break the chainsaw on the Scrake, it'll expose a weak spot, and if you blast it, it'll explode and stun them for a second. And A, they can't use the chainsaw anymore. B, if you run up fast enough, you can execute them with their own chainsaw.
Oh, okay. I'm in. I was already in, but now I'm super in.
And then
that's ridiculous.
And then like the last thing I want to bring up that's like a major improvement is they put in an attachment system to this game. So in the past with Killing Floor games, when you got a gun, you just had that gun. You could like level up the perks on like the specialist and class you use, like making Firebug, who does fire damage, do more fire damage. But you couldn't really change the guns outside of just buying them as you get more money in a match. now, if you use a gun enough, you can unlock schematics that will allow you to craft attachments for it, like scopes, compensators, stocks, ammo changing, like damage changing ammo. And there's about 150 attachments in the whole game, like even right now, as of like pre-release beta form.
Wow.
And so
seems like they're taking some influence from like Borderlands and Doom even. What you're talking about. What you're talking about with like being able to like shoot a vulnerability in an enemy, that feels like Doom Eternal. Or it sounds like it. And then like I think the weapons needed that. Like I think that'll be good for progression, because like people who play Killing Floor games, like they're gonna put 1,000 hours in this game, and you gotta give them like things to do and things to go after, and adding attachments instead of just making it about finding weapons, I think is smart.
Yeah, and they've had paints and weapon charms in the past, but attachments is such a bigger deal because, like,
it's not just cosmetic. It actually makes the weapon different.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of the attachments are cosmetic, where, like, you can see, like, if you put a different kind of clip on the gun, you can see it reflected on the weapon.
Wow.
And Tripwire has always had some of the best feeling shotguns in first-person shooting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I could take one of their shotguns now and, like, turn it into, like, put white phosphorus rounds on it, turn it into a fire shotgun, like, get a drum clip for it, and then, like, get something that increases the fire rate, so I could just turn it into, like, a rapid-fire hellfire device. I love it.
You're telling me this is a game where I can kill an enemy with their own chainsaw in glory kill fashion, or I could set them on fire with a fire shotgun?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in. This sounds awesome. Why are people complaining?
Because I didn't play it in high enough graphics.
Oh, okay.
That's so stupid. Oh my God.
That's a reason to be mad. I think they're just, it's funny, Shackney's getting access to things because, we've been doing this for a while and we have good relationship with companies and whatnot. And it's just funny. Like, you see these people like, how did they get access? Roar! It's like, look, we streamed Killing Floor 2 with the devs for like years.
Yeah.
We've been covering this franchise forever. Like,
I have been a huge fan of this franchise for a long time.
It's one of the best co-op shooters out there, in my opinion. Like Killing Floor 2, Killing Floor 1, but now like this is a big deal because they're moving to a new engine and stuff.
And they're making reasonable improvements in like every section of the game that feel good.
It's like, but people like on the internet, and they're idiots, some of them, they like jump to these conclusions. Like an example is David previewed WWE 2K25, right? And we posted the Seth Rollins entrance. This was a demo at Royal Rumble. It had like 6 playable characters. There's way more than 6 playable characters in the game that's going to ship, right? But everyone jumps to the conclusion that there's no Jey Uso entrance for the Yeet. And it's like, you don't know that. We don't know that. Like, so I saw something similar going on in the comments to your preview, TJ. It's like, they're making all these assumptions about what this game is going to be like. And I'm like, you don't know that. We don't even know that.
Right.
Like, it's so dumb. It's just like, when we preview something, it's like, here's what we were shown. We're not hiding anything. It's like, here's what they showed us.
Yeah.
We've had back-to-back previews at the site that, we upload them to YouTube, but we're also uploading these video previews to Facebook and Twitter now. And like, I know people don't like Twitter and there's issues with Twitter. There's still people talking about video games over there. And, they had a lot of opinions on our Killing Floor footage, which is just silly.
A lot of people seem to enjoy it though too, and I'm happy for that.
Oh no, it's a combo, and obviously like the loudest people on the internet, the dissenters or whatever. But like, it's been amusing seeing multiple fandoms kind of discover Shackneys in the last few weeks through our preview content. Yep,
and like this game for a preview, this game impressed me on just about everything that I was particularly looking for as a longtime fan, and I'm really excited to see what we'll get on day one when this game comes out in March.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing dev streams with them hopefully again, and we appreciate what Tripwire does. They make some pretty sweet stuff, and this is like their I don't know, their flagship franchise at this point.
Yep,
I like that it sounds like Doom. Like that they took inspiration from like Doom 2016 and Eternal and then like some other stuff. Cool. Are there microtransactions in this game?
There are, but it's mostly cosmetic stuff.
Okay.
They have They have in the past usually done like weapon packs where like they'll do. Tripwire has usually done like a halvesies thing where like they'll do a set of free weapons and then they'll do a set of like premium weapons that you have to pay for.
That's right.
But they usually do a pretty good combo of free and paid stuff with their games.
Nice. Cool. Well, that comes out in March, so keep a locked on Shack News if you want to know more about Killing Floor. And if you haven't seen his preview, check out TJ's preview. It's on YouTube or those social media places I mentioned. Nice. So is that about it? What you've been playing that you can talk about? You can't talk about the other cool stuff that you've been playing, but
not quite
eventually. Yet. And you didn't get to play Monster Hunter Wilds yet.
No. I've played a preview build of it before, but
that's right. You played it at Tokyo Game Show.
I did.
That's right. And I think Ozzy played it. It's a preview event too. We have a few previews for Monster Hunter out there. But yeah, I just want to put that on everyone's radar. Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out later this month, and I'm excited for it. Yeah. John, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Nothing that is about to come out. These are all well out.
You have a prolific backlog at this point.
I would say so. So Bully on PS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Yeah, and it kind of passed me by. Like, I guess I just didn't, I never really played it.
Yeah.
And I saw it, I guess, on the PlayStation Network. It's one of those games, like, if you have a certain membership.
Oh, PS Plus or whatever?
Yeah. And so I got Bully. Really interesting. Like, I put in maybe, several hours, maybe like 4 or 5 hours so far. So pretty early, I think. I love the setting. I think it's really interesting. Like, why don't we see more like this? It kind of harkens back to even like an Earthbound, where I kind of feel like, why isn't there more that's somewhat contemporary, that is like from a kid's perspective or something like that, right? As opposed to just modern or hyper modern, and it's kind of very samey, right? Like this taking place in a school, in a boarding school, with bullies, with different factions, things like that. I think it's pretty cool. The kid is kind of a prick.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Okay.
He's a dick.
Yeah. But
you're
like,
right.
he's not top of the food chain or bottom of the food chain. So that's kind of interesting. Like, you definitely encounter big bullies, but you're also, you could be a bully yourself. I think the story, I feel like it's just kind of neat to see. This was before Red Dead 2.
Yes, 06.
Red Dead 1. Yeah.
This was, let me see, when did Red Dead 1 come out? I think it might be
09 or 10.
I think this was before Red Dead, John. Yeah, 10.
Before Red Dead 1?
Yeah. It's before GTA 4 also. I want to say it was after GTA 3, but before... Yeah, GTA 3 was 2001. Yeah. So it's after GTA 3. What do we get? Vice City? Right? What was Vice City?
Yeah,
Vice City came out in 2002.
San Andreas.
Yeah, San Andreas. This game must have come out after San Andreas, but before 4. Yeah, it did. Wow. San Andreas came out in 2004. This came out in 2006. So yeah, it is. It's the game after San Andreas, which was a banger. And I think at that point they had done everything they could do on the PS2 with that engine in the GTA world. So they were like, hey, this system's still around. Why don't we do something else with this engine? And that was what Bully turned into. There's a rumor that there's a Bully 2 somewhere over there at Take-Two. It got canned or it's on hold or something. But like, with everything that's happened in society since that last Bully, like, that was pre-iPhone, pre-social media, really.
Sure.
Like, they could make a really cool Bully game if they did that now. And obviously I was interested in it. I went to a boarding school for high school, so like, that stuff I found interesting, and like you said, like the clickiness and how they captured teenage angst and all that. I thought it was really good.
No, really neat, and I wish there were more games like this. You kind of wish that Rockstar, could move mountains, which they always do. So would I trade this off? Would I trade this for Red Dead or for GTA or whatever? No, but I wish that there was more from this universe. I wish there was like a Bully 2 would be really like such a cool thing. I just
perfect
think
time for it. Like
kinda. I mean, it's like a social. It speaks to society, but that's what GTA does too. And I actually think Red Dead, kind of shows history repeating and all that.
Yep.
I think it's always pretty astute. So I'm having fun with this. Other than that, no, I'm kind of just waiting for a couple games. I think the Pirate Yakuza game, but also Assassin's Creed is really interesting to me. And I loved part 2. Kind of got away from me, I think, and a lot of people after the Ezio stuff. Kind of, after they moved on, it got a little it got so broad, right? I mean, it was so big, and it's the criticism of Ubisoft games, right? Like open world, where it's just way too much. This is way too big,
and they have diluted a lot of the value of their franchises.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed and Far Cry being the ones that I think of the most when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and but for whatever reason, this one is like. I hope this feels like a reboot. I hope it's a bit of a reboot for the series. I don't even know if the series needs it, but for me, it's a reboot. I
think a good setting.
It's a great setting. Yeah, maybe that's exactly it.
That's really what determines if I'm interested in an Assassin's Creed game or not. Is like what time period and what setting. And I think the story that they're going to tell is interesting, and that's important. But then also the variety of gameplay that you're going to get with the samurai and the shinobi, like that's going to be cool. Ninjas are definitely trained assassins, and also just from the gameplay that we posted, like I don't know if you noticed, it's gory as hell. Like it looks visually impressive. So yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
I have muted expectations for it because it isn't a Ubisoft joint, and they have had a rough, 10 years.
Yeah, it's a decade now.
Yeah,
and we talked about their financial stuff, but yeah, cool. Yeah, so you're just kind of anticipating things.
A little bit, yeah. I guess it's been a little, life gets busy, so like games go up and down. For me, it's a little bit of a take a step back. And I love the one time I did have some free time, the PlayStation Network was down.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let me just get some random game time in, and nothing happened. I did update No Man's Sky.
Oh,
as well.
Yeah,
and,
I got a lot of stuff.
Got a great update. I mean, such a gorgeous game, such a cool game.
All those updates have been free, most of them.
And I didn't realize I put in like 70 hours so far into that game.
Yeah,
and I think I must have beaten it or whatever, but that's not the point of the game, really. It's about
exploring
bases and exploring and all that.
Yeah.
It's been long enough that I have to remember the control scheme. I have to kind of get my feet wet again. But what a cool game! That and Cyberpunk are just like the poster children for games that
turnarounds
never give up.
Yeah, turnarounds for
turn around and become. Cyberpunk, I think, becomes epic. And I don't know if No Man's Sky is really epic. I mean, I love it. I think it's really great. I think Cyberpunk is. Maybe a top 10, which is kind of surprising for me to say. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like,
ever?
I really liked it. I really liked it. When I went so when I first started, everybody had the same impression, mid, kind of crappy, whatever.
I just didn't like the gunplay. I thought the FPS segments sucked.
Well, so for me, it depends how you play it, right? And for me, it was like a lot of hacking plus gunplay. Right. Sure. And I think that combo was so cool. And then you see some of these like YouTube videos where people are just using like there's no gun, right?
Yeah,
it's just them screwing people's heads and whatever.
Yeah, I think there's a pacifist run that you can do in that game.
Oh, I think so too. I think I saw it too.
Yeah.
Just the replayability, I think. I think it's definitely there because you could play it every time, just
I gotta go back to that game. It feels like it's
one of those.
Time.
You should go back to. I think I did a Corpo run, and then I did.
That was the run I did last time.
Yeah, it's cool. So Corpo is just like super buttoned up, and you start in the city as opposed to out in the sticks.
That whole Oval Office press conference scene was weird, though. Oh wait, that's reality. That's not Cyberpunk. My bad.
Whoa.
My bad.
I'm also playing 2025 Dystopia in America every day.
Yeah, Shaq News CEO Simulator 2025. It's not great.
Yeah, that's what I'm
awesome.
Playing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's incredible how like every expansion, every update that No Man's Sky gets these days is like the kind of stuff you would see in a paid expansion in most other games.
Yeah. It reminds me of The Long Dark, the amount of love that they're giving that game. And kind of, I don't think The Long Dark had to turn it around, but just 10 years of supporting a live service game is just really impressive. And shout out, just good for Hello Games. And we're happy for them. I know that game has won a Shaq News Award for best turnaround or best comeback in the past. And it's just kept going. And that's always inspiring. Joe, You've been playing video games?
I'm back, baby.
Nice. So you're still playing the man who forgot his name or whatever the hell it is?
That's complete. The man who erased his name is complete.
Oh, so that's what these check marks mean.
So
yeah, I gave little visual indicators. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know, like, you were kind of. You had like mixed results so far.
Yeah. Are we getting scores from you? Are we going to get a review score from you?
Yeah, this is a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's a good game. It's
a Joe 7 is like a IGN 9.
I think that's correct. Yes.
Just for the folks at home.
Yeah, that is correct.
I mean,
IGN. A Joe 7 is play this game immediately.
Yeah. It's good.
Goaty contender. I think it's like it really is an interstitial. John, you played it, right?
Oh yeah.
This game really intends to be a bridge between Kiryu and Ichiban's story.
Sure.
It's attempting to make the transition from one protagonist to the other make sense. That is the point of the game. It is not necessarily advertised to be that way. And it is also trying to have its cake and eat it too, and like sort of just be another Yakuza game.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, it's just a strange experience because it's it's like, am I playing like an open world, another installment of this, open world franchise that we're all very familiar with at this point? Or am I just playing a campaign that tells a story so that I understand why this franchise pivoted to another protagonist? Because it really does pull that off, I think, very well.
Mm-hmm.
But it does bog you down with, okay, do a couple checklist things in the city. And by the way, the amount of the city that we're giving you is super cordoned off.
Mm-hmm.
It's really limited compared to any other Yakuza game, to the extent that like maybe you just should have made this like a $40 6-hour,
more linear game.
Yeah, like hyper linear, because it is linear by comparison. Like relatively speaking, it is, but it almost isn't enough. And I think that took away from it because it gave you some busy work to stretch out the time a little bit, which I found frustrating. But the end is so good. It end got me real good. I think the end was fun. If you had played Like a Dragon or number 7, the first Ichiban game, if you had played that, playing this one was like a fist, throwing your fist in the air, like, oh, they did it. They're doing the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, I really liked it. I think they padded it out in a way that was super unnecessary. So
what score did you give Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
3.
Okay.
Hey, and Joe, just
3.
I do think that the game, and I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain the man who erased his name, that bridge between Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth, right? I think it was meant to be a bridge. I thought it was it was supposed to be like a 20-hour experience. Yes. I don't think it was a full price game either. I don't think
you might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
As a $50 game as opposed to a $70 game. Sure. And I think for me, what was interesting and impressive for me, like when I played the game, I was like, this is a side game? Like, how the heck? This is a bridge game at like a discounted price. This seems fully fledged as a Yakuza game.
It launched at $50.
Okay.
Pretty good. I mean,
not full price.
I remember it being advertised as like a side game or like a downloadable game or something that just made it seem like smaller than, like a Dragon and definitely smaller than what Infinite Wealth was going to be.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like astonished at how meaty it was.
I could have played it for 40 hours. So yeah, all that's fair. I would say I did not like that they forced your hand into some of the side stuff, which took some time, and it wasn't quite as interesting as.
What can you remind us? What was the side stuff?
So this is inconsequential spoilers in my opinion. In this game, you are obfuscating your real identity, and you're working for whatever the FBI equivalent is in Japan. And they throw you into a city, and you're undercover, and you're in cahoots with this, I don't know, underground street lord, this girl Akame. And there's about, I don't know, I think about 6 to 8 hours of forced Akame related side content of, hey, go run around and help people. I don't know if that's ringing a bell for you, John, but
it's actually not.
Yeah, so it didn't stick with you.
Japan has two things that could be considered FBI or CIA-like, Joe. There's the Public Security Intelligence Agency, and there's the Cabinet Intelligence and Research Office, or CIRO, as they call it.
This was called like the Daijo, or
they probably made it up.
It's probably made up.
Remember the Akame Network?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's this lady in one of the cities where she just has like 100 quests that you can do in time they all unlock, and some of them are like, help this cat out of the tree or some
right.
Yeah,
but they make you do some of it. That's all I'm saying.
They make you do a lot of it. Yeah, they make you do, and if you don't find that fun, it is a drag.
This whole series reminds me of Shenmue at times. Like,
it's super Shenmue.
Like those are the moments though where I'm like, how many chickens do I have to find? Like seriously again.
But you will find people who are like, oh man, I really loved finding all them chickens.
Yes, you will find those people, and like I always go back to it. But that shareholder meeting is like my favorite random thing they've ever.
But that's a great example, Asif, because like, in the big fat Yakuza games, I feel more willing to do the side content. You do feel like you're investing in the character. And in this game, I was just like, I want to see what happens in the story because I know what happens after.
Yeah.
So
you're right. It takes you away from, like you said, a more linear focused game wouldn't have that. And you would just get the story injected into your eyeballs. I think that's why we're seeing this as a show now on Amazon. Like, there's something to be said that they can tell a cool story in this universe.
Oh, definitely they can. They're so good at that. Anyway.
Well, that Amazon thing was not
good.
I did not watch it either.
I have not heard anything good about it.
I heard that it was just like it's why is it called Yakuza? It could have been called anything. It's disappointing.
Yeah. Can't always hit home runs in Amazon.
That the show creators, the way I understood it, the show creators never played the game.
Wow.
But
what?
That's damning.
I don't want to talk too much about it because I didn't watch it, but that seems like a problem.
So you also beat another game, Joe?
I'm telling you, my game count for 2024 was like 7 completed games. I'm already at 7 now, baby.
Wow.
Middle of February.
7 already?
I had a rough 2024.
You know what he didn't complete? Briefcase Ghost House.
I did not.
Any comment? John, you're still the world record holder a week later, by the way.
We have a suit.
Yeah, you did it. So that might be one of your New Year's resolutions from that first episode.
You're right.
If Steve Tominski doesn't figure out a way to shave off time, you're probably golden.
I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't done it, frankly.
I don't think he knows.
There's a good 7 seconds. Okay, anyway, Joe.
Onimusha's back, by the way, guys. Yeah, so I completed Warlords, the PS2 game. the remaster of the PS2 game, I should say. And then like a week ago, Capcom releases a trailer for Onimusha 2 remaster. And then in the state of play, which we'll talk about in a minute, there's, there's like a deeper look at Onimusha Way of the Sword, like the brand new game, which looks
that's
super
the one
good.
that got announced at the Jeffs in December.
So like it's the year of Onimusha. What a first of all,
Capcom's flexing.
They are flexing, and I'll tell you what, this is the first time I'm participating in the Capcom 2019 plus gold rush here. They have never put out anything where like I see all of my friends playing all these great Capcom games and we're all celebrating Capcom and Capcom's back. And I've said like, well, none of these are for me.
Well, come on. Is Resident Evil 4 not for you?
It's not for me. That's okay. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just not
possible?
for me.
How is
it's too scary?
You know what? I will say
it's scary.
Wait,
it's the least scary Resident Evil.
You said it was scary? It was too scary, RE4? That's okay.
I can't play those games. They make me all stressed.
I will tell you, look, Resident Evil, the first game, I stopped playing it. Literally, I stopped playing it. You shoot the first spider that you find, like 4 or 5 hours in, and then all little spiders come out of the big spider. I'm like, I am out of here.
Yeah, sure.
That's my Resident Evil. I don't mind saying that.
Yeah,
sure.
No, that's fine. I'm not telling you to play RE1 or RE2 or RE3. I'm not telling you to play those remakes, Joe. I'm telling you that RE4 is the least scary game in the franchise.
I don't care. I played the demo.
It is probably still scary, but like,
I can't do it.
I think
I can't do it.
It is such an important game in the history of action adventure that like.
But I agree with you. I just can't do it. I can't.
I get it. So like you missed the RE train. I get that.
Yeah, but also like Monster Hunter doesn't click. Yeah,
you're not a fighting game person, so you're not like Street Fighter 6 is the next coming because it is. It's an excellent game.
Listen. There's no hate here, is what I'm trying to say.
But you also weren't like, hey, Street Fighter 5 sucks. You didn't have an opinion.
Yeah,
No, I get it. And like, yeah, Monster Hunter's not for everybody. And then honestly, before World, it wasn't this huge franchise. It was kind of niche.
I might have a little hate on Monster Hunter. That Monster Hunter World, I thought was bad. I didn't understand.
Oh, come on.
I'm just being honest. I didn't like it, and I beat it.
Joe you need critical folks. Joe is a hypercritical person.
I'm hypercritical. I know,
but that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
I'm just saying, Monster Hunter World is not a bad game.
Of course, it's not a bad game. I thought it was a little overhyped. That's all.
Look, I skipped it because I had.
Come on, I beat it. I can have an opinion then.
I know you can, but I edited thousands of hours of video of that game, and I have 400 hours in Ultimate Monster Hunter 3 for the Wii U of all places.
Wow.
So it's like
you have
400 hours in the Wii U version of UMW3.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
It was like the one online game that me and my friends played on the Wii U.
That's funny.
It was like, hey, we're going to go fishing. I'm like, of course I'll go fishing with you guys. 30 minutes later after we get into a party, but yeah, forget all that. I'm just saying, like, I get it, Joe. Like, I don't know, do you like Mega Man?
I tried 11. Listen, it's great. I'm so happy for Capcom. I'm
saying, do you like Mega Man 2? Do you like Mega Man 3?
No, I missed all that. It's just not for me.
It's
not for me.
Okay.
John's about to throw something.
I can feel the contempt.
No. I will defend Joe's position. I think you know what? It is somebody who really is mindful of what's really good, what's really great, what really connects with them. Joe has that mentality, and I think that's good. Like nobody will accuse him of being over enthusiastic, or going with the hype train or whatever.
Okay. This is my last question for the Capcom.
I'm trying to defend him.
No, just one more question, Joe.
Okay.
You're not on trial here.
Feels like I am.
A little trial.
Do you like the NES version of DuckTales? No. You don't like DuckTales?
I played the Wii U one. That was fine. But
oh my god.
Wait, hold on, Joe. Hold on. Now you're gonna lose me there. So wait. DuckTales on NES, though. That was
my question.
I haven't played the NES cut, as it were, so I don't know.
It's one of the best platformers maybe ever. Okay. You don't get Shovel Knight without that
I believe
game.
You.
Yes. It's really fun, and I will say the moon And we all know. We
Yeah.
all know.
Oh yeah.
And nobody should even say. You just say the moon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was mind blowing, John. Like,
mind blowing. And because it was, I remember it being kind of hard.
yes.
And the moon was like special.
Yeah.
And you get there and it's like different. And the music lasts to this day. It's on TikToks and this and that. It is, my kids were watching something, I'll say a year ago, and I hear the you know, that's my singing. You hear the little notes, the little sparkly notes, and it was like the end of Ratatouille. I was like brought back to like middle school, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing this game. Joe, special moments. Moments. I don't want to do. I'm not saying nostalgia or anything. I'm saying
it doesn't need to be nostalgia.
So I'm just going to go on a limb here. If you don't like DuckTales for NES, and you're not into the Street Fighter series, and you're not into Resident Evil, and you're not into Monster Hunter, most Capcom franchises probably. And you don't really like the Mega Man series. You probably don't like Capcom.
Was Ghost Trick a Capcom game? I even tried that. And that I was like, what is everyone so excited about this for? That was lousy. All right.
I will say, Onimusha, pretty dang good. And I'm really happy to see that it's coming back. They confirmed that the main character is Musashi Miyamoto, who is like one of my favorite historical figures. So I'm double excited.
Joe, do you not like the Devil May Cry series either?
Devil May Cry is the Nier Automata of mindless garbage. No, I'm being too mean.
Oh my god!
I don't like it. I don't.
Yay. I like this. I like this segment.
I'm just throwing out franchises trying to save Joe, and every time he's like, "Nah, it sucks."
Yeah, this is an awesome
are you
segment.
serious?
We should do this every episode. We just pick one classic game and let Joe just shit on it completely for like 20 minutes.
Mario, the original Mario Bros.
No, to play a little bit of devil's advocate.
I don't like how the screen wraps in the original Mario Bros.
To play a little bit of devil's advocate, Devil May Cry is a series that is only good on its odd entries. Devil May Cry 1, pretty dang good. Devil May Cry 3, one of the best ever. Devil May Cry 5, pretty dang good indeed.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 2 and 4, pretty much hot trash. Skip them.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Of course.
I knew you were going to say that because how you feel about Bayonetta. I knew you were going to say that, but I figured I would just confirm it. So for the folks at home, Joe is not moved by the Devil May Cry series either. My God. So yeah, Onimusha. That's cool.
Onimusha.
I'm glad you found a Capcom property you like.
I like it. I don't know about that second one, but I think I will play the brand new one that comes out.
It is good, but also a bit silly.
Yes. I mean, the first one is super silly. Like, it's all like Hamlet characters. I don't know if you remember that, TJ.
Yeah.
With the most insane, with no hyperbole, the most insane voice acting in a video game, full stop.
Oh, just wait. Onimusha 2 gets even more hammy while upping the gameplay and making it even better.
Well, that sounds pretty fun, actually.
My God. Okay, so you beat Onimusha Warlords, and now you're playing Mother 3?
Now I'm playing Mother 3. John mentioned Earthbound already, which I did. My eyebrows lifted. I'm playing Mother 3 for the first time. Got the fan translation version 1.3. Guys, this one's an all-timer.
Yes. Finally.
Tell me, hold on. Where are you playing it? What are you doing?
He's playing a ROM.
Oh, okay.
Listen, because this is I pay for it. I'm sorry. I would pay for it. I would pay for it if I could.
No, I'm not bringing this. I'm not saying anything.
I'm telling the audience.
Yeah, fair enough. And you've paid for. I mean, isn't Mother 3 on Nintendo Switch Online, or am I wrong?
Japan only.
Yeah. Oh, Japan only. Yeah, I thought it was a Japanese version because there was no translation, but it was still available for Americans.
No, and you have to log in with your Japanese eShop account, which they're actually going to ban. They're not going to allow people to have multiple country accounts.
But unless you can read it, I mean, that's like the whole reason the game is good is the writing. So
it's been a negative of a lot of these and the NES Online games that have been releasing recently. They're just the Japanese versions, so it's kind of, if you don't know how to read Japanese, it's hard. And with an RPG, it's almost worthless.
Joseph, talk to us. Tell us about that one.
Mother 3, have any of you ever played it?
No, I never have.
I've just I've watched it, but no.
I read the wiki a whole bunch.
Nice. The big sort of like the TLDR on Mother 3 mechanically is that it's much like Earthbound in terms of like bumping into like you bump into a snake on the road, and the snake like tries to like make fun of you or something, like it's that kind of experience. But in this game, what's different is that when you hit your main attack, like your non-mana attack, you go into a mode where you are trying to discern the beat of the song that's playing in the background and tap your attack button along to it. And if you can stay on beat, you can hit the enemy up to 16 times if your rhythm is good. And every encounter is like that. And so like playing the game battles becomes a musical affair where you're trying to discern the rhythm of the song. And like there is a challenge that seems intentional on like the music composition side, where it's a little bit of maybe an abstract song for the sake of tripping you up in the battle. But certain characters will have the ability to hypnotize the enemy, for example, and hypnotizing the enemy will reveal the enemy's heartbeat, and the heartbeat goes perfectly to the music, and therefore is sort of like a cheat or an easy mode so that you can catch the beat of the song. So I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but maybe you follow just sort of that's like the main like battle loop. And it is so fun and clever. And the fact that they programmed it the way they did, and it's on GBA for what it's worth. It's just very cool. And all that is wrapped up in, sort of that absurdist, Earthbound, atmosphere that you might be familiar with from that game. It's very funny. Like it is an unofficial translation, but from what I understand, it's not only relatively faithful, but excellent. And, so far I have found that to be true. Very good. It's very good.
Nice. Cool. Awesome.
Nice. Well, I'm glad that you found a video game that you like. And
yes.
It's also in a series that is cool. And yeah, it's a meme, but seriously, why haven't they ported that game?
That's worth saying too. It is so obvious why they haven't ported this game.
Why?
It is.
Oh, really? Why? Yeah. What's?
I won't tell the exact reason, but it is really dark.
Mm-hmm.
There is. At least the fan translation has some profanity. Like I screenshotted a few, which I can which I can share if I can dig them out. But there's there's an NPC running into a room and saying like, "Hey, that's sexual harassment," telling some other NPC that something he said was sexual harassment. It's like, it's just absolutely not something Nintendo would slap their logo on these days. Yeah, yes and no, but it's almost that it's not politically correct implies that like it's saying something offensive, right? But it's more so that it's just touching on topics that are just not G-rated.
But that's what I thought was cool about that franchise. It's like, it's in a universe that's not really commonly in RPG. Like, you don't see many universes like that.
Right.
It's always fantasy or future, like sci-fi. Like, to see that place, that was kind of interesting.
Very interesting. I've talked too much. Awesome.
No, it's interesting. It's cool.
No, I think everyone who's listening now knows that, there's one Capcom franchise Joe doesn't hate, and we'll see where it goes from there.
I hope everyone listening understands that there is no legitimate hate. Nothing clicked for me, and now I had something. It's more click.
Just that nothing appeals to you, and you're afraid of Resident Evil games. So
yes, that I admit, I am afraid.
That's fine.
Asif, what have you been playing?
Okay, where to start? I'll start. So I played Breath of the Wild over the last week because I'm working on something, and I had to go back and play it. I love that game. It's a great game. I have more hours in Tears of the Kingdom than I do Breath of the Wild. I would rather play Tears of the Kingdom.
Huh.
I don't. It's not that I don't like Breath of the Wild. It's that the fuse and the Ultra Hand powers that you have in Tears are just so much better than the stuff you have in Breath of the Wild. The Rivali's Gale and the whatever the Goron gives you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think the atmosphere in Tears is on par though with Breath of the Wild?
if you're talking about that calmness that you have in the overworld of Breath of the Wild, no.
Yeah.
But the world of Tears of the Kingdom is in tumult, and there's a lot of angst in that world. So I think the world they designed in Tears fits the story of Tears. The world that they built in Breath of the Wild fits the story of Breath of the Wild. But in my opinion, Tears is what they wanted to do. I'll say, I think Tears of the Kingdom's the best video game like ever made. So I think it's better than Breath of the Wild. I'm talking about gameplay mechanics, Joe. Like, you can talk about performance all day on the Switch or whatever, but like the amount of systems interacting in Tears of the Kingdom is unprecedented. Like, crazy. How it all works is astonishing. And I just don't feel that way about Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild's magic is in exploration and emergent gameplay and like all those things. But like, and all those things really shined in the year 2017 when it won Shackney's Game of the Year. But yeah, like, I would rather play Tears of the Kingdom.
No, yeah. I don't think it's a strange take. I just wanted to.
No, it's just something I wanted to throw out there. But yeah, I played Breath of the Wild for reasons, and we'll see those reasons soon.
Very soon.
Not really, but yeah, but you'll see why I was doing it soon. And then I played F-Zero 99. Cue the shock and dismay.
Yep.
I had my best placement in the Ace League Grand Prix, which is my, that's the Satellaview tracks. That's like the newest shit, right? So I placed 9th on Mute City 4, 10th on Sandstorm 1, 12th on Big Blue 2, 9th on Sandstorm 2, and 8th place on Silence 2, for a grand total of 8th overall. So that's my best ranking in the Ace League.
Congrats.
So that's pretty neat. I placed 12th overall in a Night League Grand Prix, which was, fine, I guess. Let's see if I have any rivals I want to shout out. I had a good one I took a screenshot of the other day. Oh yeah, Goth Moth. Played Goth Moth.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just with the name Teach Me in all caps with 3 exclamation points. I played someone, I actually lost to them. Their name was Cat Meme.
Okay.
I played someone named Timely Hand. Which just sounded weird. I actually beat them twice. Let's see who else I got here. Akuma. I lost to Akuma.
Understandably.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I beat Obsidian and Hype. There's someone just HYPE Hype. I beat them. Let's see. Dragon King and also someone named Boost Power, BOOSTPWR, all caps. I beat them. Yeah, Dragon King was in there.
Dragon King, that's impressive, beating him. He should probably change his, or they should change their name.
Or just give it to me, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Divix King.
I'm stuck on Akuma. Like, how well does the Fist of Killing Intent translate to F-Zero Racing?
Not really well, because you're driving a car. I guess you can punch your steering wheel.
Is that a Capcom game?
Oh, and then last night I played someone named I'm Chinese. So yeah, those are my rivals of the week. I played a lot of it. This weekend is a lucky weekend, which means the lucky ranks reset every 4 hours. So if you want to grind for XP, this is your weekend to do it. So yeah, played F-Zero quite a bit. I placed, God, guys, it's what's happening to me is rough. Like, here's my first 5 races last night, and this sums up how I've been doing in F-Zero. I placed 10th, 7th, 10th, 90th, and then 4th. And that 90th place, guys, I was in 3rd on the last turn of the race, and I died.
Ouch.
So yeah, I'm having these heartbreaking runs where like I go from like, oh, I'm about to win to like, oh, I've lost in horrific fashion. But yeah, I've been in first place a lot since the last episode. Like, I'm finding myself in first place during races a lot, which means things are going pretty well. Love that game. It's great. I played a little bit of Balatro this week, and I played some Animal Crossing. I mainly just went into Animal Crossing because I got so mad at one of my F-Zero losses that I threw my controller into the couch, right? It wasn't like I threw it into anything that would break. But I'm trying to find I took a screen cap of how I was placing in the race, because it tells you where you were placed each lap, and it really highlights how frustrating this game can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here's an example. So this was on Deathwind 1. which is like an oval, but it has wind on it. After the first lap, I was in second place, you guys. After the second lap, I was in first place. After the third lap, I was in 8th place. I died on the 4th lap, and I ended 84th.
Ouch.
That shit made me throw my controller. And then I fired up Animal Crossing because I wanted to chill. And then, lastly, I did play some Mario Maker, mainly because I'm just checking to see if people are playing my level, which they're not. About 4.2% clear percentage on it. That game's kind of dead. But I ended up going back and playing one of Ozzy's levels because I never beat it. It's a Super Mario Bros. 2 style level, and it involves that. You know how you can pull things up from the ground in that game? His level is about digging down, and then you get to a boss battle where you have to jump on a bullet bill and throw it at Bowser, and I keep dying down there. But yeah, I'm trying to beat Ozzy's Mario Maker level from like 5 years ago.
That's cool.
I played Balatro. I dropped my phone on my face while playing it too.
Did we ever get a name for that?
I think Mamu suggested one in the comments, but other than that, I don't know. I guess we'll just put it to the folks at home again. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. We can get to the game.
All right, well, so we'll be right back. We're going to play a game right after this. Folks, it's the 50th episode of Shack Together.
Oh my God.
Congratulations to us. Wow. So I had the clairvoyance to say, I think we're going to run long today, which we are currently running long.
Because we had to lecture you on Capcom games.
Yeah, I take the blame for sure. But because it's the 50th episode, we couldn't skip the game. So we have a super quick one.
Okay.
With everyone's favorite buzz-in style trivia. There's only a couple questions here, so we're going to do a lightning round of trivia inspired by the goings-on in story time, is where I got some of the ideas for these questions. So, y'all have played before, buzz in with your name. There's only 5 questions. So let's see.
High pressure.
Latency. Are we going to start complaining about that? I'm sorry.
You definitely are going to start complaining about it.
We will complain about it, but not yet.
I am in the basement on a Wi-Fi. So give me 3 seconds.
I am hardwired in, but I live in Ohio, so there's a hamster running on a wheel powering my ISP.
Fair enough.
And TJ's in Texas.
There is one question that will not be buzz in. I will let everyone answer closest. We'll get the point. But that's not this first question. The first question is, get ready with your buzzer.
Yep.
How many games has Hazelight Studios released to the public?
Asif.
5, 4.
But do you count remakes or remasters?
I count their
IP
official website. How many releases has Hazelight Studios released to the public? What is that studio responsible for? 5.
3.
Correct. Okay. Next question. Not including Avowed, what was the last game Obsidian Entertainment released?
TJ.
I heard Asif.
Pentiment?
Point to Asif. Cleaning up. Currently cleaning up.
Wow.
The next question, everyone gets a chance to answer. Asif will go last because he's in first place.
Okay.
TJ, you will go first. What was Lies of P's? That sounded strange. What was Lies of P's original release date? Closest gets the point. TJ.
It felt like an early year game. I'm going to say May 12th.
Keep going. I need a year.
May 12th, 2023.
John, Lies of P.
I will go with June 1st, 2021.
Wrong.
Dang.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, you're in the lead and forget it.
Sorry.
Throwing.
October 1st, 2023.
Wow. Asif, you are on a roll because you are off by a mere, 12 days.
Yeah.
The correct answer.
So is it the release? Were you asking what was the original release date?
Yeah.
As in like...
It was an October game. It was
no. I thought you were talking about prior to any delays.
Oh, that's an interesting. I don't have the answer.
Well, no,
to that.
just because. Okay, no, it's okay. It's okay. Just
The way he phrased it, I can see that.
Yes,
it's all
I
good,
admit
man.
some strange phrasing. What was Lies of P's release date is the question. I apologize for any confusion.
I think
Correct
so,
answer,
original,
September 19th, 23.
Yeah.
So, Asif, you were
Very good.
you were right
I feel
there.
bad. I reviewed that game. I should have known.
Yeah.
Asif, you are our winner mathematically, but I have two for funsies. Here we go.
Okay. Well, should I continue? Or
Yeah,
should I
you
let
can
this-
continue. Why not?
Okay.
Including remasters, how many Yakuza / Like a Dragon games have been released in total?
EJ.
TJ.
Let's see. I'm gonna say.
What the heck?
I'm gonna say 12.
Incorrect. Floor's open. I'll give it to the closest person.
And it's all throughout the
Yeah.
entire series,
Including remasters.
including remasters.
I think that's what
Mhm.
he said.
Okay, John.
Yep.
17.
Okay. Asif, you want to throw your hat in the ring? 17's also wrong.
Joe John's wrong.
Yep.
Go one more round after this.
Asif, I guess I'll say 25.
Wow.
Okay. Let's see who's closest. 1 point each to Asif and John for being off by 4.
Oh.
Correct answer 21.
Equidistant. I was thinking 20, but I was like, this is probably more than 20.
So
The-
Because there's so many remasters and remakes, you know?
I
Like
I thought that there would be more. That is
Yeah.
not really the contributing factor because only Kiwami and Kiwami 2 fall in that category. There's just a ton of games.
there's a lot of spin-offs.
Mhm.
Yes, been and the Wikipedia for this information includes Judgment, which I did not, to be clear, but includes Judgment in the.
It's part of the franchise, kind of.
You're right. It considers it a spinoff. I thought that might be confusing, but
That's fair.
the final question: with Shinobi Art of Vengeance on the horizon, in what year was the most recent Shinobi title, which in fact was titled Shinobi, released? What was the
Awesome.
most recent Shinobi title?
Asif.
I'm looking for a year.
Yeah.
Asif, go ahead.
2011?
Right on the money. Asif.
Wow.
2011. Nicely done. Bonus points if you know for what platform.
PlayStation?
3DS.
3DS.
Yes,
Yeah.
published by Sega.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wow.
That was
Trouncing.
a shellacking.
That's my first win against TJ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew it.
That was like the Super Bowl.
Nicely done.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
boy.
Sorry, deep cut. I cut TJ deep. That's just like me saying, say TJ, and then smiling. No.
It's almost like I was minding my own business when like 4 guys in green just come at me from all sides and destroy me.
R.I.P. Patrick Mahomes. Anyway, wow. It feels good to win.
Nice. Well, thank
I
you
was
for
on fire
playing.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
That
Asif,
was like a Slumdog Millionaire scenario. Just knew all the answers. I was there, damn it. I was there when Shinobi released.
yeah, clear. You're right on the money.
And I'm the one who posted that trailer yesterday. I'm excited. That Shinobi looks good. The new one.
I agree. In fact, we should talk about it next with our PlayStation State of Play recap. I will pass the mic to Asif.
Good idea. Let's play some music first.
Sure.
And we're back with this PlayStation State of Play recap. There was a State of Play, which is essentially a Nintendo Direct for Sony, yesterday afternoon, about 8 hours before the company reported earnings. So we got a bunch of news. Let's hit it as fast as we possibly can. You guys just stop me if you want to say something about one of these games.
Okay.
Days Gone is getting a PS5 remaster.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell is Us got a release date. It looks kind of neat.
I think it looks very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's out there. We got more Onimusha news. Way of the Sword, we got like a real trailer that showed off gameplay and a little bit of story about the protagonist. Looks pretty neat.
And some
And
silliness.
Yeah. I mean, the game has silliness.
Yeah.
And we got pre-order announcement for Onimusha 2's remake, Samurai's Destiny. I'm trying to think.
Yep.
Did they say other than release date? Yeah, it's coming out in May, right?
Yes, May 25th or something.
And importantly, it will support PS4 hardware too. So it's going to be one of those cross-gen releases.
Yep.
Which I think is cool that they're still doing that, because there are a lot of PlayStation 4s out there. And it's just nice. It feels nice when you own a 10-year-old system and there's still something new coming out on it. We got a trailer, a launch trailer for Warriors Abyss.
Shadow Drop as well, I think.
Huh?
Shadow Drop, I believe.
Oh, okay. And it's like a survivor style Musu game.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. We got like 30 seconds of this game, Darwin's Paradox, which looks cool. It's like a platformer and you're an octopus or something. That looks neat. But like, it was so fast. When I was covering it live, I missed the trailer entirely. I was like looking down, editing something, and I look up and I was like, what the hell is this octopus game?
It's like they didn't want you to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like bam, bam. Which is neat. We got a look at the Midnight Walk, which is like, it's going to launch on flat screens as well as PSVR 2. We got a lot of games coming out in May announced during this state of play. This is the
claymation horror game.
Yeah. It's got a cool looking art style. It was more of a cinematic trailer than it really showed us gameplay. There's a little bit of gameplay in here. I'm curious to see how it does in VR. Because like, it feels like the PSVR 2, we used to get like, oh, there's a lot of games coming out this year for PSVR 2 or PSVR 1. And now it's like maybe 3 games a year. So this is one of those. I'll be honest with you. This one that got announced is probably the game I was most excited by during the event. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds got announced, and there is a beta that's going on too, or a demo. I just like Sonic Racing games.
This looks pretty.
I'm a simple gamer who just likes racing Sonic games. But I always ask this existential question though, John, because he's the fastest thing alive.
Well, yeah, why is he in a car?
Why is he in a car?
Yeah,
because the last time they let him. The last time they let him run on his feet was in Supersonic Racing, and that game was horrible.
True, but
I was going to say, I think it's because the last time, just in terms of lore, it's because he's too fast.
Yeah,
so, like, they put him in the car. It's not fair to anybody else.
And then we got that Shinobi trailer you mentioned, Art of Vengeance. It's from the people who made Streets of Rage 4. Which I believe won Shack News Best Old School Throwback of the Year, TJ, if I remember right.
Yeah, that game's swept a lot of categories that year.
It's a banger, and has an awesome soundtrack. Oh my god, is the Streets of Rage 4 soundtrack outstanding. I'm into it. More Shinobi, side-scrolling, hell yeah.
Yep.
Between the Game Kitchen, the Blasphemous devs doing a new Ninja Gaiden 2D game, and now Lizard Cube doing this, it's an awesome year for 2D Ninja platformers.
It feels like these large third-party studios that had great IP like Ninja Gaiden and Shinobi have been watching like these indies succeed in that space with like, Katana Zero and like all these games that are very small teams, but they're making awesome games. I feel like these companies are like getting wise to it.
And they're also watching Capcom just make so much money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We got another Dark Pictures anthology game, Directive 8020. It's coming out in October. We finally got the Metal Gear Solid Triangle release date, Delta, but I call it Triangle. It's coming in August. That got leaked, so that's unfortunate. Another cool story, because on Shack News, we really like the game Returnal and Housemarque in general. They're making a new game called Saros. It looks cool. I'm in. And it has Rahul Kohli as the protagonist performance actor. So pretty neat.
Checked the sales figures for Returnal. Want to take a guess?
8 million?
TJ?
No. Returnal?
Yeah.
I would say like 800,000. Is that a million seller? Returnal?
TJ?
It's definitely a million seller. I'm going to say 3 million.
Let me say 1 million. Let me just round it.
It just cleared 1 million by like 25,000 units. Yeah.
It had to, man. Like that was.
This new IP. New IP.
Good game. Yeah, new IP, a little dour.
Also, wasn't it like launch window or like within the first year of PlayStation 5?
Months or first year for sure.
Because we had, there was a shortage of hardware. Like, there just weren't many PlayStation 5s in the world at that time.
But so even now, like, yeah, it
75 million PlayStations out there now. So, yeah, it just never really caught on. But I think they make great games. So it's like critically acclaimed. Sure. Hopefully this game sees more success. We got a extensive gameplay look at Mind's Eye, the game from isn't it one of the former GTA developers?
Yeah, Leslie Benzies.
That's right. His new studio, which is like, is it like Build a Robot or Build More like something dumb?
Build a Rocket Boy.
Build a Rocket Boy. That's their new studio. We got a good look at this, and I'm into it. It's like sci-fi. It kind of feels a little cyberpunk-like, but it has the driving and the stuff that you would like in a GTA game. I don't know. I'm getting like Mafia vibes from it too. Like, I don't know. Looks cool.
Yeah, Mafia sounds about right. That looks right.
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii has a demo that's out. By the time you're listening to this, it'll probably be out there. And then Lies of P, which we just talked about in our game segment, has an expansion coming in summer. It's called Overture. TJ, is this free or does it cost money?
It's going to cost money. It's an expansion on top of the main game.
Okay.
I'm excited for it, though. Like, it looks like we're going to get new story, new weapons, new characters. And I love Lies of P.
Joe commented, poorly communicated expansion, thought this was a sequel. Yeah, when we were watching it live, we were debating if it was a new game or not, and I was like, it's probably an expansion.
There's a line underneath the main title when they do the title card that says must have base game.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, that was the PlayStation event. What'd you guys think?
Go ahead.
Surprising emphasis on third-party stuff.
Yeah, and games that come out in 2026.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of that. But I thought it was decent. I think Sonic was honestly my favorite announcement. And I liked what I saw out of Saros, and I'm interested in Mind's Eye. Those were like the three that I was like, okay. You know what? You left one off here.
I left more than one off. There was a lot.
No, but you left one off that it really stuck out to me. And I saw it and I'm like, this is a game I gotta get John to look at too. Because I think it fits your kind of vibe, John.
Okay.
Dreams of Another from Pixel Junk.
Yeah, that looked awesome. I mean,
it looks really so cool.
Yeah,
it looks really cool. Like you can't progress in the game without destroying, and like to create something, you have to destroy something else. Like I don't know, I got like Res vibes from it. I was just like, this looks cool. It's different.
I thought it looked like Dreams, like the game Dreams. Yeah,
I could engine see that too. Yeah. So yeah, those are the ones that stood out to me. And yeah, I guess if you've been dying to try out Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, now's your time. Cool. Wow. Well, we'll be back with story time. I'm gonna go get my DoorDash real quick. Okay. It just got here.
Nice.
Welcome to story time. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. I am making Joe edit this so much more than usual episodes. I apologize, Joe.
It's all good.
This is Storytime Previewza, which is trademarked. It's a preview palooza from your friends at Shacknewza. We already talked about TJ's Killing Floor 3 closed beta preview, but Donovan got to play South of Midnight, which is that very unique fantasy game that takes place in like the American South.
Mm-hmm.
It looks cool as hell. Like just the enemies, the art, the gameplay, everything about this seems really cool. Donovan's headline was South of Midnight embarks on a weirdly whimsical adventure. So he got to play an early chapter. This is from Compulsion Games. They did We Happy Few, I believe is their most recent release.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those first party Microsoft studios. But yeah, it's coming out. This comes out in April.
Yeah, very soon.
So, and yeah, day one on Game Pass. It looks cool as hell, and it's an interesting location. Donovan just is playing awesome games lately, because he also got to go to a Split Fiction preview event in Hollywood. This is Hazelight Studios, Joe, which you mentioned in the trivia game earlier.
That's right.
this is Joseph Ferris' studio that they made It Takes Two and Brothers, as well as this game Split Fiction. This is just like It Takes Two was critically acclaimed. It won Game of the Year at the Jeffs. Like, it was a big deal and a very cool game. This is like every lesson they learned while developing It Takes Two has been brought to this game. And I love that this is a studio that is focused on making split screen games in 2025. Like, so few game studios are doing this. Like, Halo 5 or Halo Infinite shipped without split screen multiplayer, split screen co-op. Like, they got rid of that in Halo. But like, I just think it's cool to see how he's done this, because the platform puzzles that they create with this style of gameplay is really cool. And everything I'm seeing, it just is like, the scope of this game is massive compared to anything else they've ever done. It's great. And it's like kind of it's part fantasy setting, part sci-fi setting. So it's just, can't wait to see what they're going to do with this. Nice. I'm glad he quit Hollywood to make video games. Because, yeah, he just seems like he's crushing it.
Launches on March 6th. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's soon. Wow. Yeah, it got announced at the Jeffs, right? And it's already, yeah, that's exciting. Will Borger previewed Elden Ring Nightreign for us, said, it's the multiplayer Souls game I've always wanted. Aren't most Souls games multiplayer?
This seems like it's going to be easier to get there, right?
Yeah, because you're kind of limited to the situations where you can use multiplayer. You have to be in like either before a boss gate, or you have to be like in specific multiplayer allowed areas. Sure.
This is a game built with 3-player multiplayer in mind, and it has roguelike elements too, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's got this, so the setup behind it is that you're kind of dropped in some part of the Lands Between from the original Elden Ring map, and there is a ring of fire that slowly encroaches on you as time passes. And so you and your buddies need to like figure out where you're going to go, what quests you're going to take, what dungeons you're going to go after, what bosses you're going to battle, while continuing to outrun that ring.
Yeah. I think this sums it up really. The way Will ends his preview sums it up. Soon I will play Nightreign again. I will play it with my friends during the closed network test, and we will make our choices. We will complete our run after run, succeeding or failing on the merits of our decisions, our ability to work together to find those moments of perfection. I don't know how many times it'll take. I don't know what classes we'll play, what choices we'll make, what buffs we'll collect, or weapons we'll wield. But I do know this. We're going to kill that damn dog. Like, that feels like that like motivation of the Souls-like genre combined with playing with friends. So that is exciting. I think this is good news for Souls-like fans.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just kind of crazy. Like, we just got a massive Elden Ring expansion last year, and then they're giving us this year. I know it's a standalone game, but it's just cool to see From Software is kind of cranking out bangers. What was it, 2 years ago we had Armored Core 6, TJ? Like,
yeah.
This is Namco though, right? This is like
it's still From Software.
It's from also, I believe.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, like, if the game feels different to play. Like, it has a different look in the preview footage. Like, it looks faster, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm not like a huge Elden Ring guy, but it looked different in like a more arcadey way.
One of the things that's like very different from normal From Software fantasy fiction action like this is that you don't like make a character and then get like gear throughout the game and build them up into a badass. You get character archetypes that kind of start with a certain style of either like melee, tankishness, magic, and then you collect gear in like randomized fashion as you go through this any given session.
Nice.
So it's going to be kind of a roguelite start from scratch each time, but like get better at it each time too.
Yeah. Right. And this comes out in May with everything else. So the back half of May, guys, stacked all of a sudden. Like,
also,
super
we're
stacked
all going to be playing Switch 2, which is like,
I don't know. Is Switch 2 out by then?
True.
We don't have a release date. We don't have a price. Do you think Nintendo knows the price? I don't.
I do.
I think it's like a showdown at the OK Corral right now with them and Tariff Boys. But we're moving on to Reviewza, which is a Reviews Palooza by Shacknewza. We talked about Avowed a little bit. just kind of before we were recording, or I don't know, whatever. Obsidian dropped a new RPG first person in the Pillars of Eternity universe, so they didn't have to build a new story. They already had deep lore from 2 games, but they built a completely new experience for that universe. Donovan loved it. He did say that the upgrade system is kind of weird, and it does have some it's like, you know, that Bethesda jank that was in Starfield with the character models? It's kind of in this game too. With some of the character models. I don't know. It's a lighting thing in Starfield, because you have to like crouch underneath someone to really see how bad the face models are in Starfield. So it's like, is it really that bad? But yeah, he did mention that as a negative. He likes the combat system. He kind of talked about how your right and left hand and like the combination of powers and like being able to build something. Like it gives you a lot of optionality when it comes to what you're going to be able to do combat-wise. He also praised the companions in the game. He said that they do a good job of making you feel the consequences of your decisions and actions in the game. He let there's like an assassin earlier in the game that you encounter, and you can either let them live or kill them or sentence them to death or whatever. He chose to let them live. He said like 30 hours later in the game, he met someone who judged him because he let that assassin live. So it's like, I love stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not just inconsequential decision making. And these people are very good at that. You know, Pillars and Outer Worlds, like, I think they do a good job of that stuff. But this seems like it's better than the Outer Worlds, if you didn't like the Outer Worlds. And then he said, yeah, the world building is excellent. Got a 9 out of 10 at Shack News. And yeah, John, you were mentioning it's getting good reviews everywhere from what I've seen.
Looks good.
So congratulations to Obsidian. They make good stuff. We reviewed Rift of the NecroDancer, which Lucas White called it Guitar PG Hero.
That's good.
I think is pretty good. This is the same studio that made, what was it, Cadence of Hyrule and Crypt of the NecroDancer. This is their next game. It looks like they added some new gameplay mechanics. Looks neat.
Yeah,
and the music is good.
It looks like, you know, like Rift of the NecroDancer and Cadence of Hyrule had like a very specific, like, one style of gameplay that you played for the game. Mm-hmm. Whereas this feels like it's almost like they've taken that same universe and creating like an Elite Beat Agents game out of it.
Yeah, or it kind of looks like Frequency from the old PS2 days. I saw someone ask if it had plastic guitar support. I don't think it does. That would be interesting. Timo Reinecke, he reviewed a visual novel-ish game for us called Urban Myth Dissolution Center. Really, really liked it. Got a 9 out of 10. Said the art direction is outstanding. It's an engaging mystery. And yeah, like the one thing that I think kind of held back the review a little bit is like, it's a visual novel. It's not really a game.
Hey.
So it's hard to judge gameplay on that stuff.
This looks like a Joe game.
Yes, it does. Can't wait to hear you tear it apart in a few weeks.
Come on.
Just kidding, man. Lucas, just because we're sticking with weird reviews this week, Lucas reviewed a card game called Sonic Speed Battle. He praised it for having 3 games in one. The team battle's interesting. The characters and the deep cuts for Sonic fans are all there. Said Knuckles is OP, and action race and shooting battle are too similar of game types, and the individual games themselves are kind of shallow. So it's like a card-based game, but it doesn't have the depth that you would get from a lot of tabletop games. But this is like, I think, a fun game to get for kids who love Sonic, you know? And the movie just came out, so there's probably some Sonic movie love that's still going on. Got a 7 out of 10. Might be a game that you get for, like, a Sonic fan for Christmas kind of thing. Maybe it'll be on sale by then. But on to Nuza. Plus, State of Playusa?
Sorry, I dragged that content out of this section. I forgot to change the name back.
Okay, well, I'm going to read it because it's there. State of Playusa. How did that hit the cutting room floor?
Whoops.
How did that happen? It's trademarked even. So you went through the whole... Anyway.
I paid for it and everything, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a Newspalooza coined by Shaq News. So yeah, the lawyers got paid. So yeah, 2 stories here. Yuji Horii said that, don't worry, Dragon Quest 12 is still in development. Like, don't worry. Like, okay. That was weird.
Thank goodness. because Square Enix has not been on like they're not in their best era, I would say.
Right.
It's been weird,
and so we haven't heard much of anything about Dragon Quest XII since the original announcement.
Yeah,
they had their big
ago.
anniversary stream where they announced it like almost 2 years ago, and then it's been radio silence almost. And then they kind of focused
4 years, Asif. It's been so long.
Oh, okay, never mind. But they had like that anniversary event where they mentioned it, and then last year was really focused on the HD 2D remake of 3. I thought, which is fine. It's an iconic game, but like, yeah, it's good to hear that they're just kind of working on it in silence, and honestly, good. Just make sure it's awesome, and we, what I mean, like, let them cook, what I mean. But to your point, TJ, like Square Enix is kind of at a crossroads because they kind of went all in on PlayStation, and it blew up in their face. Being multi-platform has been the right move for almost every third-party developer, but these like PlayStation exclusives for the Final Fantasy games like ended up hurting them financially. So maybe 12 is going to be released on Switch too, or whatever else. But anyway, you guys may know I invested in this company called Nintendo about 14 years ago.
Sure,
heard of it.
At that same time, you guys heard of Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway?
Sure.
Yes.
One of the largest companies on earth, one of the most prolific investors of all time. He's an individual stock picker, not unlike me. Right. Charlie Munger, his number 2 at Berkshire, considered acquiring all of Nintendo during the Wii U era. Thank God they didn't. Like, holy crap. Not that I think they would have mismanaged or anything, but I would not be sitting here talking to you guys today if that happened. I would be in a completely different situation entirely. It's just something that when I saw this story, and I think it was Go Nintendo reporting first I saw it, Bobby Kotick was on a called the Grit podcast, talking about things. And he told this story where he was talking to Berkshire Hathaway. Apparently, Charlie Munger was looking at Activision Blizzard back in the 2010s for an acquisition. And he said, yeah, we're looking at your stock. I'll actually pull up the quote of Bobby Kotick here. He goes, I was looking at a couple other companies in your sector. I think if we bought yours, we should buy that company Nintendo too. He said, have you guys looked at it? And Kotick says, I was like, yeah, it was trading at the time at like 13 billion with 7 billion in cash. He goes, I don't think anything is going to go really bad before I'm dead. And then if it goes bad after I'm dead, they'll just chalk it up to the folly of an 82-year-old man. So you don't have to be concerned about disappointing me. He was like thinking about acquiring both Activision and Nintendo at the same time in the 2010s. That would have been a huge deal. But yeah, it felt nice to hear that the people who part of my investment philosophy is built on saw exactly what I saw at the exact same time. They just didn't act on it. I think that was an interesting news story. And I linked back to some stories. There's a Kotaku article from 2011 that apparently was written based on something that I wrote for GameIndustry.biz at the time.
Okay.
Where I said that Nintendo stock had been left for dead with respects to its valuation in 2011. And then contrast that with 2025, the stock just hit an all-time high today on the back of the Switch success. And you remember when the Wii U was floundering and the 3DS wasn't selling like hotcakes, everyone was calling for Nintendo to go third party and to stop making hardware. And they didn't. They made another hardware system, and it ended up being the best-selling home console they ever shipped. So yeah, shout out to Nintendo investors who stuck it out for the last 15 years or however long you've been in it. I went back and I looked at this. I did a Game Trader video from like late 2015 or 2016, and I had terrible lighting, but man, I was right. I laid out a thesis for investing in the stock, and it played out, and that always feels good. But yeah, it just felt neat to see that Warren Buffett's company agreed with me, not to the point where they deployed the capital, but they saw what I saw, and therein lies the heart of the turd miner, looking for I invest in garbage that's on the ground. I rarely buy things that are flying high. And that's a risky thing, but if you do your homework, you can find companies that are just mispriced by the market. And now I think we're on the other side of it, where the market is now late to the Nintendo story. And they're trying to figure out what is this premium that we should pay for this brand. Whereas back in 2010, 2015, it was trading at a discount to its peers. So it's interesting how it's just, that really highlights that like some investment ideas just take a lot of time. Like you can be wrong before you're right. But if you have patience and you do your homework and you make sure that they're not fucking up, you can make a lot of money.
Sure.
600% to be exact. If you bought the lows on Nintendo back in 2012 or whatever, it's up 600% since then. So shout out to anyone who did that, or any of my clients that never sold. Sony, we're on to Industriusa, which is an industry news palooza brought to you by Shacknewsa. Sony has sold over 74.9 million PlayStation 5s. That's awesome. Good for them. If this is a healthy, down year, if this is a down console generation for them, Microsoft would love to sell that many Xboxes. That's great. I think it's just great for the platform. It's great for the industry. It's great for developers. It's just good news. Now, for the love of God, Sony, let your studios make bangers. Like, quit telling them to we're not going to make 15 live action games. We're going to make smaller games like Astrobot, you know? Like, look how successful Astrobot was. And think about how many PlayStations were moved because people wanted to play Astrobot. You know, there's just a thought. But yeah, good on Sony.
There was a story I saw I don't think it's on our list today, but apparently Embracer shared their financials, and in that they mentioned that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is selling well, and it's a reminder that they should make good games. And it's like, that's a novel concept. Well done. Good strategy.
Oh my God. I forgot. They still own Deep Silver. I forgot that.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. I respect Deep Silver and everything they do, and congratulations to Warhorse Studios. We mentioned that last week. The million sales in a day, like that's awesome. But yeah, the Embracer Group really embraced sucking. Sorry.
Like, what was their strategy before Kingdom Come did well?
Buy companies they were trying to acquire a bunch of studios and then flip their entire company to Saudi Arabia, right? And that fell through.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. We did all the news.
Great.
Sorry, we went a little long here. We got one community note, but yeah, we got questions from the Shack News community, which you can join by heading over to shacknews.com/chatty. You could probably win Shack News for the day if you tried. Or by emailing. I'm going to give them TJ's email, tj.denzer@shacknews.com. We don't have any Shack News chatty comments. I don't know why. But we do have a reply to my question last week from Housemarque in the Housemarque corner. So, name nomination for dropping a phone on your face. I shacked my phone.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking, forget shacking your phone. I shacked my face with my phone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think that works though, right? Like, oh, what'd you do? I was playing Balatro and I shacked my face. I think that works.
Yeah, it just has a sound though. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it has a sound.
Ack?
No. I'm saying it just conjures a certain image. That's all.
What?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I just know that it doesn't.
How can it conjure an image if you don't know what the image is?
Well, it's a fuzzy image.
So the image is fuzzy. Is it fuzzy because you dropped a phone on your face?
Perhaps.
Mess with the video settings. And turn down the...
Tighten up your graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
TJ.
Does it look like Turok level fog? Like, how foggy is it?
Yeah, really foggy. Yeah.
It's like Turok Dinosaur Hunter, the first one.
Right.
That draw distance was terrible. Anyway, so I think for now, shacking, maybe not.
I'm not saying don't do it.
Oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't drop your phone on your face.
That's true. That's true.
But like, I don't know. You're not sold?
I'm sold in that I like it. I'm saying that that the image that's conjured is fuzzy and maybe a little out of step with the dropping a phone on a face. That's all.
Okay. Well,
Time will tell.
We'll throw it out there again. Folks at home listening, reply on any platform or email TJ what you think we should call dropping a phone on your face. But I think we're at least beginning the conversation.
Right.
Because it needs to be its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's I shacked my phone. I think it's I've shacked my face with my phone. Which I guess conjures up some other thing in Joe's demented mind. He's thinking of it, guys. John, you know he has it. He's just lying to us. He has the image.
No, I don't have an image.
It's just blurry. Okay.
It's blurry.
What is this, like 1996 and you're loading a JPEG? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's progressive
Okay.
loading.
Do you remember that, John? Like sitting there and watching images load?
I do.
These kids
That was not fun.
these days, they have their Kendrick Lamar concerts.
Yeah.
Back in our day, we didn't have YouTubes.
We had the Eagles perform. We had Hooray for everything.
The actual Eagles. Hotel California. Yeah.
Hotel California from Kazaa.
It's all good.
Kazaa. iMesh. Anyway. ICQ. I don't know, I'm just going to throw out random apps that no longer exist.
LimeWire.
Yeah. Remember, was it like Grokster? That one?
I don't remember that. But
That sounds
so
made up.
I think you made that up.
You think I made that up?
No.
I don't think you actually made it up, but it sounds made up. Kind of like my fuzzy image.
It's real.
It's all.
Grokster was the company that got sued by Sony. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. And no, we don't even remember the fucking app.
I used to use Florkster. Did you guys use that?
You're just making up shit.
That was made up, yeah.
That's made up.
That's made
Forkster.
up. Shackster.
Again with the Forkster.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the show. We did it. Thanks, everybody. If you listened all this way, you probably like us. Go give us a thumbs up on the video, or leave a review, or go vote for Shack Together at your local podcast facility. All those things help. I said this on the weather report that hasn't actually dropped yet, but if you want to celebrate my birthday, don't buy me any material possessions or anything. I don't need any of that. I'm very lucky. I have what I need. Thank you. But you could participate or use any of the things that I'm involved in, like Shack News. Share a Shack News article today. Go watch TJ's preview of Killing Floor 3. Check out Shack Pets. Maybe upload a picture of your pets to Shack Pets. Play Bubbletron for free at bubbletron.com. See what today's on this day is, and whatever silly combo is the high valuation. Just go do one of those things if you want to show me some love.
Shack Together 5 stars. Shack Together 5 stars.
Yeah, all those things. Exactly. Share this podcast with someone. But there's a lot of ways to show your appreciation for people that don't require money. So do one of those things if you want to do it. Or not. It's a free country. That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Congratulations on episode 50, you guys. We fucking did it.
We did it.
Episode 50. Congrats. Yay. Happy birthday. Thanks for being here, TJ.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll do it. This is where we wave at the camera that's not on. Maybe someday we'll actually film an episode on cam.
Someday.
No, not yet.
Bye.
Not yet.
Bye.
We'll never get you. See you later. Bye.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including ShackNews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at ShackNews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle, where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required. But if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feed. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.